necessarily the opinions of Walnut Media USA, management, station manager Janelle Reeves, any particular denomination or religion, the mailman, the church lady, or anyone else of sound mind and body. Now, here's the Talk of the Heartland with Mac McKoy on KCRO, the Heartland's Christian voice.
Good afternoon. It is the 7th day of November in the Lord's year 2022. I'm Mac McKoy, and welcome to the Monday edition. The Monday edition of the View From A Pew here. Talk of the Heartland on AM 660 and FM 106.7 in Lincoln and all around the world, of course, at KCRO.com. Going to get right to it. I've got some neat guests today, two that will be speaking, and one that will just kind of grunt when she doesn't agree with what's being said. And you're very good at that, by the way. And no, she's not on camera. That's kind of the VIP seat over there. And my guest today is Bishop Chambers. He is with Mount Calvary Community Church, which is at 5112 Ames Avenue. And if you want to look up the website, it is at M as in Mac, the number 3, not THREE, just the number 3, and the letter C, omaha.org. So M3C omaha.org. They have Sunday school at 9:30 on Sunday mornings. They have worship at 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Wednesday at 7 p.m., it's kind of a combination Bible study worship. And then on Saturday morning, they have a great ministry called AM Solutions, and it is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. And if you're in that organization or have ever been a part of it in any way, you know that an open meeting means everybody is welcome. A closed meeting is when you have to be invited, and they're usually smaller and more intense. But an open meeting is where someone who might decide that they have a drinking problem, or they get in trouble at home or at work, or they got a DUI or something, and a judge has ordered them to go to a meeting. It is an open meeting usually they'll go to because they can quietly go and be anonymous, which is kind of the whole idea. Anonymous. And so if you're looking for a place to go, that'd be a great place for you to go. Bishop Chambers, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. And yourself?
Good. Introduce me to the young lady that you have to your left there.
To my left, we have Diana Rogel from Livermore, Nebraska. And to my right, off camera, is my lovely wife, Deborah Jean Chambers.
And Diana is going to speak a little bit today because this weekend you have an event that involves Live On Nebraska. And Diana, why don't you share that with me a little bit?
Absolutely. So this Saturday at 1 p.m. over at Mount Calvary Community Church, we will be observing a donor Sabbath. It's basically a interfaith celebration. It's observed annually 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. And throughout the nation, it is called National Donor Sabbath, where faith leaders and members of the donation and transplant community come together to educate the public about the need for life-saving and healing gifts passed to others through transplantation. And it's also a way to encourage people to register their decision to be organ, eye, and tissue donors.
And that's a marking that you have on your driver's license.
Yes. So
that when you are in some type of an accident or whatever the case may be, someone will know right away that you are a donor.
Actually, it works differently. So some people think that that's the way it works.
I thought that's the way it works.
Yeah, no. And in fact, I hope that many people are listening that it's not, because some people think, oh, well, they're not going to save me if they see that on my license. We at Live On Nebraska, we're a nonprofit organ procurement organization, and we're federally designated to make sure that we're the ones evaluating and facilitating the donation. So what happens is the hospital, if they see that you're passing away only in 2 ways, which is brain death or cardiac death, they contact us, and we're the ones that are able to see if in fact you are registered as a donor, and we handle it from there.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you told me that. I didn't know that. So the thing on my driver's license is no good anymore?
It's more so you know that you are registered.
Well, of course I know.
'Cause
I don't
the
wake up
heart's
in the
there.
morning and go, oh, gee, what did I forget? Oh, my heart. All right. Well, I'm glad you're along here, young lady, and you'll get a chance to talk a little bit about the Donor Sabbath Day, which is coming up Saturday, November 12th. That's this Saturday. And it's going to be held at your church, Bishop.
That's correct. We're hosting.
Mount Calvary Community Church at 5112 Ames Avenue in Omaha, Nebraska. All right. Meanwhile, you ready for Ask the Pastor questions?
Drum roll.
You're going to do great. And if there's anyone that you can't answer, Diana, I say you answer him.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't get off that easy. You have to answer him. All right. Here's an easy one. Are you the son of a risen God or a sinner?
Am I a son of a risen God or a sinner?
Yes.
I am a sinner.
You are a sinner.
I'm a sinner.
All right. Are you also the son
And
of
I'm also the son of the Lord.
So you're both?
Yes.
That would be the correct answer.
Well, I don't want to get too deep and say I'm just a son of God. I'm not a sinner. I'm a sinner first.
Well, we know you're a sinner.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of us in church don't recognize our sin nature.
Ooh.
We identify sin nature in others, not ourselves.
Yeah, I know. I talk about this on the air a lot. Right after Jesus mugged me, I got all self-righteous.
Yeah.
You know, and telling other people what their sins were and everything.
And that's so easy to do that.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, one day I was talking about something on the air, and I had a very good friend of mine call, and she's just crying because I had said something that she would tell her friends that as a Christian, I would never say anything like that. And so I emailed my pastor friend, and I said, is it my job to defend the gospel or simply to proclaim it? Is it my job to defend the gospel or simply proclaim it? And his email back was, God's a big dude. He can defend himself.
He can.
And I always like that. I think that was a great answer. All right, let's go to the second question. Are you a spiritual being having a human experience or a human being having a spiritual experience?
Good grief. Well, let me tell you, Mount Calvary Community Church, we are a spiritual church. And so we are spiritual people. And inasmuch, spiritual is not a denomination per se, but it is a way of life. So we live by the Spirit, we walk by the Spirit. And so our humanity, however, does not transcend, our divinity does not transcend, our humanity does not transcend our divinity. So we are human having a spiritual experience, and we are spiritual having a human experience.
So are you telling me I've got two questions in a row, or they're yes?
Yes.
Yes.
God, John 4:24, is a spirit. And so to worship him, it says in the book, you have to do it in the spirit and in truth.
All right. You're doing good. Now, here's the next one. When you get to, by the way, Jesus and grandma don't count on this answer, okay?
Wait a minute.
I'm just telling you, my grandma too.
Every time I preach, I talk about my grandmama.
When you get to glory, who's the first person you want to talk to?
And I can't talk to Jesus or my grandma?
Nope. Because those are always gimmies. Everybody always says those two, so I eliminated them.
Well, if I could, my pastor.
Ooh, the one that brought you to the faith?
Yes. Yes.
He's passed on?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's I don't know if I've ever had that answer. That's a very good answer.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, one more before we get to the break. Baptism. Sprinkle or dunk?
We dunk by profession.
Okay.
But we'll sprinkle if need be.
All right. So either way the water hits you, you're good.
Baptism is baptism for us.
Okay.
And during COVID, we didn't dunk at all. So we sprinkled those
Okay.
candidates.
All right, so here's the next question, and I'll let you think about it during the break. And these are usually the harder questions. That's why I let you think of them. But Diana, if you've got an answer off the top of your head, we'll just go to you when we come back, okay?
Okay.
Whatever you want. All right. Is tolerance the characteristic of a person with no convictions. So operative words are tolerance, characteristic, person with no convictions. You got it?
I got it.
All right. When we come back, Bishop Chambers from the Mount Calvary Community Church is with us. He'll answer that question and more. Their church meets on Sundays at 9:30 for Bible study and then worship, and worship is at 11 a.m. Wednesdays, a combination of both, and then on Saturday, AM Solutions starting at 11 o'clock, and it is an open meeting of AA and NA. He's also got Diana Rogel here.
Rogel.
Rogel.
Close.
Okay, well, it's close. And she's with Donor Sabbath Nebraska and an organization called Live On, and we'll hear more about that as we live on here on AM 660 and 106.7 in Lincoln, and, of course, all around the world at kcro.com.
You are invited to tune in every Sunday right here on AM 660 KCRO for the Covenant Church live broadcast at 11 a.m. Covenant Church is located at 150th and Blondo Street in Omaha. The mission of Covenant is to know Christ and to make Him known. For more information, go to covenantomaha.church. That's covenantomaha.church. Or visit in person and bring the family to the 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. service. Come find a place where you can belong. Come home to Covenant.
Hi, this is Mac from Talk of the Heartland, and you know, it's no accident you're listening to us today. We've been praying for you. We know that there's something stirring inside of you that you wish God would answer in a prayer. Well, we're praying for you too, and maybe, just maybe, God will slip that answer to your prayers into the show with one of the guests or the pastors, or who knows, maybe even me. We want to hear him at 1-402-819-2666. It's Mac at kcro.com. And no matter where you are when you're listening, at home, at work, or in the car, remember to write it down. We are AM 660 and 106.7 KCRO.
When it comes to your home, NFM has it all. Find superior selection of furniture, home decor, area rugs and flooring, appliances, big and small, and smart home electronics, all in one store. The brands you trust are all here and backed by our low price guarantee with budget-friendly long-term financing available. Pick it up, have it delivered, or get it installed by experienced professionals. The choice is yours, right here at NFM.
Do you need a little good news in your life? Tune in to Spotlight Good News Omaha on KCRO 3 times daily, weekdays at 5:30 a.m., 9:45 a.m., and 10:15 p.m. with your host, Tim Janisewski on KCRO, the Heartland's Christian voice.
The Heartland's Christian voice, KCRO.
Good afternoon. It's a Monday, the 7th day of November in the Lord's year 2022. I'm Mac McKoy, and this is the Talk of the Heartland on KCRO. Today, my special guest is Bishop Chambers. He is the bishop and senior pastor at Mount Calvary Community Church, which is at 5112 Ames Avenue. And they have Sunday school at 9:30, worship at 11 a.m. On Wednesday, kind of a combination, both at 7, and then an awesome gift to the community. Saturdays, it's called AM Solutions, and it's an open meeting of AA and NA. And an open meeting means that you can go in. You don't have to say anything. You can sit quietly in the corner. But if you'd like to observe, maybe you're there just out of curiosity, or maybe like me, one day, 13 years ago, I went in because I needed help. And those organizations are wonderful, and I strongly encourage you to look those up if you know somebody or you yourself need them. And, by the way, If you have a loved one or somebody that's hurting in that area of alcohol or drugs, please feel free to contact me, and I'll help you any way I can, because there's no greater lost feeling than when you're losing a loved one to alcohol or drugs. Also, we have Diana, last name? Rogel here. Almost got it right. And she's with an organization called Live On Nebraska. And tell us a little bit about what you do, Diana.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the Diversity Outreach and Engagement Coordinator. So what that means is that I get the privilege to go out to the community and talk about organ, tissue, and eye donation, build awareness, and let people know what the process is like, hopefully engage people in meaningful dialogue. Because sometimes when it comes to the deceased donation, some people get a little bit put off or don't want to think about end of life, or just in general think that it's something that their religion opposes, when in fact all major religions do support and encourage organ, tissue, and eye donation.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm going to step out on a limb. If you go to a church or belong to one that would tell you that that's against the Bible, I'd change churches, okay? Because the other dogma they'll bring to you is also as dangerous. All right, so Bishop Chambers is rolling through the pastor's questions. We came upon a break, and as you know from listening, I gave him the question earlier and then gave him the time to think about it. If you're just joining us, here's the question. Is tolerance the characteristic of a person with no convictions? So what do you say, Bishop?
Oh God, that's heavy.
Yeah, it's getting harder now. We're 5 minutes into the show.
It's hard to say because so many people, you don't know what if or not they have a conviction.
Okay. All right.
And so that's a real hard question to really answer.
Well, all right, let me turn that.
All right.
Can someone be intolerant of someone or something if they haven't planted their flag or have a conviction about something?
Again, that's still hard because
Okay.
a person can have tolerance and still have no conviction.
Okay.
They just live and let live,
Okay.
and that's a mindset. So all persons who are tolerant or intolerant have not necessarily made Jesus their choice or not made Jesus their choice.
Okay, could I ask you this? I like what you just said. They would just say live and let live.
Yes.
Isn't that a conviction?
To you and I believe that would be.
Okay, but to some people,
To
it
some
wouldn't
people,
be.
it would not. It would not.
Kind of, some people probably be maybe a little bit of a cop out, but I understand why they'd say that.
Yes.
Okay. Diana, would you like to answer that question, or do you agree?
I mean, it's interesting.
Uh-oh, she doesn't agree, Bishop. We're in trouble.
No. Actually, it's interesting because I don't really like that word, tolerant. To me, it almost seems something like, well, I'm going to tolerate you, I guess, without really understanding you or making an effort to know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So
Right.
to me, I think that somebody who is intolerant, or even with that word tolerance, isn't really making an effort or a real decision to love.
All right. Well, Diana, because you were so bold to step up and answer that one, I'm going to give you the first crack at the next one, and then, Bishop, you would answer it afterwards, if you will.
All right.
So, what temptation does the accuser whisper in your ears, Diana? Yeah, this is you.
Yeah.
What temptation does the accuser most often whisper in your ears?
Oh boy. I mean, honestly, it's just that critical notion that others don't care, you know? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a uphill that, you kind of have to combat, because you know that that's what they want you to see,
Yeah.
or the accuser, as you name him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, how about you, Cowboy?
Oh man, that's not a hard one.
Okay, good. I was trying not to give you two hard ones in a row.
I just preached yesterday, so the notion, what I hear in my ear often is quit, walk away.
Okay.
And so I used as an illustration yesterday Jeremiah, and he said I was trying to. I won't even say his name no more. I'm tired of how they're treating me, and I'm preaching what you told me to preach. I'm only saying the words that come in my mouth because they came from you. You told me don't be afraid of their faces. Yet I'm in prison. And the 20th chapter, verse 1, he's in prison, not by the government. His Royal Highness Zedekiah Jehoiakim didn't put him in jail. He got arrested by another priest. Jeremiah himself was a priest, and he gets imprisoned by another priest. So first of all, be careful of who you serve with.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And,
oh, boy, do I know that.
And so he said, I was trying not to say his name, but the more I tried to not do it, his word was in me, and it was like fire into my bones. So that's how we combat those notions to walk away, to quit. I'm not enough. It's a fire that burns that allows me to continue to go to 5112 Ames every Sunday.
Do you podcast?
I don't.
Oh, I would have loved to heard that sermon. Because I'm the same way as you are. I'm constantly hearing Satan say, just quit. Walk away. It isn't worth it. We'll find something else.
Well, it's on Facebook Live. We do Facebook Live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's on your Facebook then?
Yes, sir.
All right. But God is always telling me, Mac, you're not going to die on this mountain. I didn't bring you this far through all we've been through for you to quit or give up. Yeah. Good. All right. One more question. Let me give you an easy one. Does grace trump the law?
Lord Jesus.
Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on KCRO.
Does grace trump the law?
Grace is goodness rendered at Christ's expense.
Okay.
Jesus came.
Oh, I see what you just did. You spelled grace. Okay. That's an oxymoron. No. What is that called?
Acronym.
Okay, thank you. I like that. I'll have to write that down.
And he came, Jesus said that I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. So Jesus trumps the law. However, by his own admission, he said, I didn't come to change the law.
Yeah.
I am the fulfillment of law.
I like that you say it that way. Once again, you're a special guy. And I'm serious when I say this. I've never had anybody change that to, does Jesus trump the law? Because that would make it probably an easier question. But I like that.
In some regards, it would be. But remember, the Pharisees didn't see him that way.
I know.
And we have so many, I use the
Pharisees.
word, Phariseistic people in our church. Yeah. So we have what I call we have Christians and who promote Christianity, and then we have those who are in church who promote churchianity.
Oh yeah. What's the one I always used to say? Now you got me thinking about it. Cino, Cino, Christian in name only. Yeah. All right. So here's the tough one that I'll ask you to think about, and then give me an answer when we come back. How do most people underestimate God? And I don't mean for most people to be operative. Yes. I just didn't want to ask you personally. But how do people underestimate God? And we'll answer that when we come back. Bishop Chambers is my guest from Mount Calvary Community Church. They have Sunday school at 9:30, at 11 worship, Wednesday night at 7. It's a combination of both. And then on Saturday morning, an open AA and NA meeting at 11 o'clock called AM Solutions. By the way, their website is M as in Mary, the number 3, C as in cat, so M3C Omaha.org. And we'll come back and ask those questions and more when we do. It is 2 minutes away from the answer to that question from Bishop Chambers here on AM 660 and FM 106.7. And then, by the way, all around the world at KCRO.com.
Sweet hour of prayer.
Greetings, 660 KCR listeners. This is Pastor Brian Page of the Pleasant Green Baptist Church here in Omaha, Nebraska, where we are a Christ-centered ministry that ministers to all God's people. Hey, we're coming to you with great joy and excitement to let you know that the Pleasant Green Baptist Church will be airing the Sweet Hour of Prayer broadcast every Sunday from 9 to 9:30 a.m. on 660 KCRO. Please tune in to the show and be blessed.
Take the wheel and take control of your auto insurance premium with the Drive for Less program from Battle Creek Mutual Insurance. When you drive safe, all roads lead to a lower cost on your auto insurance. Simply track your driving habits with your Battle Creek mobile app, and you can save up to 30% on your premium just by driving safe. Talk about driving a bargain. Download, drive, save. Get the app today from Battle Creek Mutual Insurance.
I'm Joyce Meyer, and I want to encourage you to listen to Enjoying Everyday Life Monday through Friday right here on this station. My program is full of practical biblical teaching that will build your faith and equip you to enjoy your life. I love to share God's Word with you. It's His Word that allows us to have victory in this life right now. His Word sets us free. Be sure to listen to Enjoying Everyday Life right here daily so you can be blessed and encouraged.
5:45 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 10 p.m. on KCRO.
Now your forecast for KCRO for Omaha, Council Bluffs, and Lincoln. Overcast tonight with lows around 41. Southeasterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tomorrow. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 64. 59 tomorrow night. Slight chance for scattered storms. Cloudy skies Wednesday with highs in the mid-70s. Chance for scattered storms Thursday. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley on KCRO. Right now 53.
KCRO.
Good afternoon, the 7th day of November in the Lord's year 2022. I'm Mac McKoy, and this is the Heartland's Christian Voice on AM 660 and FM 106.7 FM. So good Monday afternoon. Nice to see you. Coming up after this at 5 o'clock, Reviving the Fire with Jeff Saxton. And then at 5:30, Living Word Ministries from Debbie Blank. And then at 6 tonight, as it is in every night, Adventures in Odyssey. Exclusively here on your local voice. More local pastors and preachers and people that are passionate about Jesus on this radio station than on any other. And that is not something we boast about. We believe that's our job, is to give every single person who loves Jesus, maybe even differently than we do, to give them that platform to share that with other people. And today, sharing with us is Bishop Chambers. He's from Mount Calvary Community Church. That's at 5112 Ames Avenue. Sunday school at 9:30, worship at 11, Wednesday at 7, kind of a combination of both. And then on Saturday, a public open meeting of AA and NA held at the church. We also have Diana here today, and she is the representative of Live On Nebraska. And briefly tell us what that is and why you're with us today, because this weekend's a big deal.
Yes, absolutely. This Saturday at 1 o'clock at Mount Calvary Community Church, we will be observing Donor Sabbath. It is an interfaith celebration to build awareness on organ, tissue, and eye donation. Live On Nebraska is a federally designated organ procurement organization, a nonprofit that basically handles the evaluation and facilitation of organ, tissue, and eye donation for Nebraska and Potawatomi County.
And you're having an event this Saturday, November 12th, at Bishop Chambers Church. What time does that start?
1 o'clock.
Wow, I got it right here. Sorry, 1 o'clock.
You're fine.
All right, and you can learn about organ donation and things like that.
Well, really, what we're wanting to do is letting people who are touched by donation be able to give testimony. So people who have lost a loved one and became donors, somebody who is on the waiting list and has that need, and also people who have received the gift. So really, it's a thanksgiving of the gift of life.
That's awesome. You know, maybe we can talk later. It'd be fun to have you come on sometime with some of those testimonies.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be something that would be real helpful. You know, I'm a crybaby at anything, especially like at puppy commercials or whatever. But when I see someone meet someone who has donated to one of their loved ones and see that meeting, oh my gosh, wow.
I would be lying if I said I don't cry at work sometimes.
Oh, that's just, I mean, it is truly the gift of life that they've done.
It's a blessing.
All right, so your first question as we come back, and this is one of the harder questions, I think, to answer. How do most people underestimate God?
Lord Jesus. So we underestimate him, I believe, mostly by not believing him, not taking him at his word.
Not believing in him, but believing his word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. Yeah. Diana, do you want to throw a crack at that?
Yeah, I think every day we wake up and we have life and others don't. I think we underestimate how much he loves us and the reason that he wants us to continue.
Yeah.
And that's saying something, because when you say it like that, it puts it into a perspective that we don't appreciate just waking up or having the ability to sit up out the bed, where someone is paralyzed and can't do that.
I know.
We take things for granted.
Oh, yeah. You're probably younger than I am, but we both grew up in the Chris Reeves world where Superman was riding a horse. Well, not Superman, but Chris Reeves.
Right.
Riding a horse one day and fell off and became paralyzed for the rest of his life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Neck down. Yeah.
Neck down. Yeah. All right. Can you lose? Now, lose means, honey, where's my keys? I can't find them. Or, gosh darn it, I lost my billfold again.
No, you cannot.
Lose your salvation.
No, you cannot.
Okay.
I knew where you were going with that.
All right.
Once saved, you are saved.
Unless
you leave here or denounce him.
Okay.
Denounce your salvation. But once you're saved, you're saved. And a lot of church, I don't want to get into a lot of murky waters here, but a lot of churches, a lot of faith traditions are set up where if you don't live a certain way, that cancels it out. But
and those are the people. What did you call them?
Phariseistic.
Phariseistic. Is that a real word?
We should have looked it up, but if not, I made it up.
Well, see, I have this term that everybody tells me that I made up, and that was they are pharisaical.
Okay, I like that one.
But I think I made that one up too.
You probably did.
Yeah. I mean, if you take the time and read the Bible, you'll know that the bottom line is believe in him, follow him, abide in him, and no matter what you do or don't do, as long as you don't tell him to take a hike, you're going to spend eternity with him.
Yes, and I believe, and we talked about the grace earlier. I think we have just run right through the idea of grace and how much God actually loves us.
Yeah.
And he loves us on his terms, and it's not defined to a system, a book. You can't write about how much he loves us because you don't know the extent of his love beyond him dying on the cross for us. And if that would you die for someone? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not, but I would give up my life if it, and I'm looking at Diana because this is kind of the passion you have, but I might. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disagree with you, but I might. I have a daughter who, if anything ever happened to her and they said her or me,
that's someone you know.
Oh, you mean for nobody that I don't know?
Yeah. See, he died for what?
But he did know us.
But he did know us.
Yeah.
Before there was a foundation. So okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I got you.
All right.
Let's move on.
All right. Let's get the heck out of here. All right. This is a tough one. And we are not yet at a break, so let me move on to an easier one. Is your church, and I'm talking about Mount Calvary Community Church, is your church a cruise ship or a battleship?
It depends on the Sunday.
Oh, all right. Well, tell me about that. Tell me about that.
It all depends. So we are Mount Calvary Community Church. We are the biggest little church in Omaha, Nebraska. And some Sundays we are a cruise ship, and some Sundays it is a battleship. It all depends on the day. We are a family-oriented church.
Okay.
So we are a cross-generational, multi-layered family church. And so sometimes the Hatfields and the McKoys just don't get along at family dinner, and it spills over into Sunday. However,
I get you.
When it comes to worshiping the Lord, all that's put to the side, and we'll pick back up later after the benediction. But
good.
So we cruise through services, but sometimes it can be a battle, and I mean, yeah.
All right. So here's a.
But love is a battlefield.
Yes. Yeah. I would tell you that most of the time, churches are a cruise ship. Or I'm sorry, they're a battleship.
Yeah.
But it's nice that it's nice when you do go to a service sometime, and it's just God pouring into you, you know, and just allowing us to worship Him. All right. So real quickly, I understand what the term free will is. Okay. I don't like that term. It's not in the Bible.
No.
My term is sinful nature.
All right.
We are born with sinful nature. All right. Do you believe that sinful nature can be a non-belief or the reason for non-belief? And I'll break it down even farther. Is that a sickness, like a disease, like a mental illness? Does sinful nature cause some to never, ever see who God is, what they are, what they've done for them, and they just live in their sin?
Wow.
Should that have been one of the tough questions?
That is a tough one, and then it's not. But in this day and time, when you say mental illness or mental, we're learning more about that today than we've ever had. And my wife and I just attended mental health first aid, how to aid people in that area of mental health awareness. And so in some ways, that could be a sickness in some ways. And then in some ways, it is just rebellion.
All right. Could non-belief, could atheism be sinful nature?
Well, you asked the wrong person that. Okay. Atheists, by definition, don't profess a belief in...
All right, agnostic then.
And so, which is a belief.
Right. I know. I get that.
To not believe is a belief that I don't believe. So in the agnostic frame, again, it depends because there's so many variables in that.
Okay.
And certain people have certain beliefs. They believe this so far, but they can't accept it that far.
Okay.
So they measure their faith, or they'll have a measurement towards their belief.
Learned behavior.
Learned behavior comes from mom and dad.
No,
they weren't
not
raised
necessarily. Environment too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if mom and dad don't take you to church, there's a good chance you're not going to be a church person on your own without Jesus come along and saying, hey, you're mine.
And we're all social beings. You know, I wasn't close to the church until I was a teenager.
Okay.
And then I was able to be a part of the faith, right?
All right.
So I think when it comes to people who might not believe, it's because they want to see the proof, right? And I think that's part of what people learn when they want to believe in something. Where is it? I need to see it. I need to touch it.
Where's the proof?
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell you that I think the proof is just all around us. I mean, in everything we see and touch.
Yeah.
All right, so.
That's a Mechanism 3 sound like.
Almost. Yeah, it's a coincidence. All right. So here is a tough one, and this is our last break, but we'll have a couple more after this, but this is a tough one. Is there anything so evil that even Satan will cringe when it happens? He's laughing. That's supposed to be a serious question. Are you laughing too, Diana?
I'm just smiling. There's so
much.
much.
Okay. So we'll be back with Bishop Chambers from the Mount Calvary Community Church, and his answer to that question: is there anything so evil that even Satan cringes when it happens? By the way, you can check them out at their website at M, like in Mac, the number 3, and then C is in cat. So M3C Omaha.org, and we're coming back right here on AM 660 and FM 106.7 in Lincoln and all around the world at KCRO.com.
How does the news around us affect us as Christians? Listen in for Jay Sekulow weekdays at 11 a.m. on KCRO.
Elisa Ilana did it. They created the perfect piece of jewelry for me. Hi, this is Boomer Mac, and I have looked for a jewelry maker to take my idea for a lapel pin and create it just for me. But the craftsman at Elisa Ilana blew my expectations out of the water, and for less than I had budgeted. Elisa Ilana is located 1 block south of Dodge off of 132nd. It's that beautiful white house on the east side of the street. So this Christmas, give that special person in your life something that is designed by you and created by one of the craftsman jewelers at Elisa Ilana. And if it's Pandora jewelry you decide, Elisa Ilana has the largest in-house stock of all Pandora gifts in the United States. This Christmas, give the gift of you with a specially designed family heirloom created by the craftsman at Elisa Ilana, just south of Dodge off 132nd Street. Tell them Boomer Mac sent you.
Is Uncle Sam the primary beneficiary of your estate? Hi, I'm Jason, your Omaha financial planner. I'm inviting you to my webinar on taxes and retirement on November 10th at 11 a.m. Please sign up at omahafinancialplanning.com. omahafinancialplanning.com.
The Heartland's Christian Voice, KCRO.
All right, good afternoon. It's the 7th day of November in the Lord's year 2022. And did you know that it's no accident you're listening today? Yeah, I've been praying for you. We all have in this room that God answers your prayers. Maybe it'll be an itty-bitty prayer, or maybe it'll be the big one. And understand that when God answers your prayers through someone or something, it's the Holy Spirit. It's not us. I wish it was, but then my Christianity would be all messed up, kind of like I used to be before he came and mugged me. But just remember that when you listen to this show, we've been praying that your prayers are answered by something that happens on this show. All right, it's about 9 minutes, maybe almost 10 minutes before the hour of 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is Reviving the Fire with Jeff Saxton. 5:30, Living Word Ministries with Debbie Blank. And then at 6 o'clock, Adventures in Odyssey. And if you've never heard that, it is GGG rated. It is an absolute wonderful program for grandma and grandpa to sit down and listen with the grandkids or mom and dad. It really is that good a program, and it's all Bible stated, and it comes from the Bible. So I think you would enjoy it if you would take the time to listen to it, and that's at 6 o'clock Monday through Saturday nights here at AM 660 and FM 106.7 and all around the world at KCRO.com. My guests today are Bishop Chambers from the Mount Calvary Community Church at 5112 Ames Avenue. Sunday at 9:30 is Sunday school. Worship is at 11. Wednesday nights at 7. It's kind of a combination of both. And then one of the best gifts they give to the community, at least in my mind, and that's Saturday morning at 11. They have open meetings of AA and NA. And if you are familiar with those organizations at all, they allow you to have a closed meeting where you have to be invited and it has to be okayed. Those are usually smaller, more intense meetings. Or you can just pop into an open meeting because you just want to see what's going on. Maybe you think you need it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you think somebody else in your life needs it. Maybe you don't. But either way, it's called an open meeting, so you could go visit and find out how that side of the world is living. And I'll bet you 2 chocolate chips cookies and a glass of milk that when you walk out of your first meeting, it'll change your life. I challenge you, okay? It's 11 o'clock at Mount Calvary Community Church, 5112 Ames Avenue. It's Saturday morning at 11, and it's called AM Solutions. All right, so I ask him this question, and he laughs out loud. So I can't wait to hear his answer. Is there anything so evil that even Satan cringes when it happens?
Twice.
Twice?
When he got kicked out of heaven.
Okay. You don't think he liked that?
I don't think he liked that.
What did you think God was going to do? Let him hang around and take over?
Well,
like pull off a coup?
He still had access. But
yeah, that's true.
But he was kicked out.
Yeah, but what I've learned is he had access until Jesus was resurrected. And then his time in heaven was done.
Was ceased.
Yeah.
And so the second time that something evil happens that he would cringe at would be the battle at Armageddon, when his work will cease from hurting and harming people.
Do you think that Satan knows the end of the story and is just naive or whatever, not having anything to do with it?
Satan is well versed in the Word of God.
Okay.
From beginning to end. And I just said this yesterday. The biggest trick that he has is to prove to us or to make us believe he does not exist.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I feel I have a special place in my heart for pastors who won't speak about that, who avoid that because they think they want their congregation to leave happy and not challenged.
Yeah.
And it happens just way too much.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
I love talking about spiritual warfare because when somebody talks to me, gives me their witness of spiritual warfare, almost always it's, should have had a V8. Yeah. Why didn't I know that before?